Yeah, this is going to go up way later than I would like. I honestly was not expecting this chapter to drop today. I thought it was going to drop tomorrow morning. But man, was this a really important chapter. Something massive was revealed towards the end of chapter 1114, which is titled The Wings of Icarus, which is fitting because, well, of what was revealed later in the chapter. But if you guys enjoy regular reviews like these, make sure you guys like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you guys never miss out on a new video. That way, my name is Potential Unleashed, and let's get in chapter 1114's review. The chapter starts off with different Marines reacting to Vegapunk's news, and he has a lot of weight, typically because something of that scale wouldn't have I guess most people wouldn't really pay much attention to, but because Vegapunk is the most famous scientist in this series, a lot of people, even though it sounds crazy, they are going to believe him. And even Akainu doesn't know what he's talking about, and he's interested as well. Some individuals are laughing at what Vegapunk says, specifically the people who are in Mock Town. There is Paulie, he's reacting to it as well because we know that Water 7 is slowly sinking. And they say something that's pretty interesting because they're like, hey, I could see if it was maybe a city or maybe like one or two islands, but the entire world, that's pretty insane. And Doflamingo, he makes an appearance in this chapter and he says something interesting because he's like, hey Magellen, aren't you in charge of if something were to happen to the different prisoners that are in Impel Down? And Magellen, he makes mention of how, yeah, because of the recent earthquake, we know because of the Lucia, it caused a meteor high rise in the tide, and that affected the jail. Magellen even mentioned that if it rose another 5 meters, that would be disastrous for the rest of the world. Where Doflamingo, he says we could always go somewhere higher up. And this has me believing that Doflamingo might know the truth about the world. We know that he is known for having a lot of information and that he is the Joker of the underworld. So it wouldn't surprise me, especially because he's Celestial Dragon. And maybe he's even hinting at the Red Line. The Goras say they are freaking out. I just love seeing each and every one of their reactions, especially Noshjuro and Saturn, because they're like, all right, F all this, we're going to eradicate every living being here and we'll suffer the consequences afterwards, but it's imperative that we stop this broadcast. So we know that this broadcast started because Vegapunk's death, so everything that he has said has been pre-recorded, and he even predicted that there would be earthquakes that happen around the world, there would be islands that are no longer able to be lived on, and that the world's oceans, that the tides, they would rise by 1 meter. So now that he, I guess, predicted this, everybody, and you also see like people like Smoothie and, you know, people of Orange Town, just all across the world, they're like, okay, we actually have to listen to him, because if he said this and predicted this before it happened, then that means he knows something's up. And the Straw Hats, they are still trying to fend off against Saturn, and they are trying to protect Robin. You know, Lilith, she's going in, there's Brooke, there's Chopper protecting Rob with his guard point, there's Usopp, and there's Nami. And these individuals, they haven't done much during this arc, so I am glad that Oda decided to at least have them do something. I also really love this because Vegapunk, he talked about how he committed a grave sin. Well, he did 2 of them, and how he was so thirsty for knowledge, wanting to figure out what the world government was hiding, that he flew too close to the sun, and this is where the Mother Flame was introduced. He kind of was talking about that because that is the weapon that caused the massive earthquakes and the rise in the tide. And also, if you guys didn't know, I think everybody knows about the story of Icarus, but the short version is that he was able to fly out of prison, and he had wax, or I think it was like either glue or wax, that he allowed him to create feathers and create wings in order to fly, and he flew too high to the sun and it melted, and then Icarus ended up dying. So I guess the result of the story of Icarus, if you want to take something from it, is to essentially not necessarily be too greedy. We see so many different people in this chapter, like the ancient giant, the Marines, they're trying their best to destroy it, trying their best to attack it with nothing working. There's also Luffy, he's back in his gear 5th. I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of tired of seeing him go in and out of this form. I wish he would either stay in it or not be in it, or use other gears, but I guess it is what it is. But Vegapunk, he starts talking about what happened between the Void Century 900 years ago and 800 years, and how that there was a missing part of history about what the Ohara scholars were trying to look at from the Poneglyphs. We even see Emu have some ellipses in this chapter as they are listening. There are also different members of the Celestial Dragons that are like, hey, Vegapunk, you know, you can't be saying this, and death isn't enough for you. We want to tear you up alive. Where there's even younger Celestial Dragons that are like, what is the Void Century? Because they obviously wouldn't be aware. One thing that I really love is seeing Saul's reaction to it. He is laughing, and he is definitely going to want to hear this, because after everything that the scholars of Ohara, Nico, Olivia, Professor Clover, and all that he's been through, he deserves to know the truth of the world. But before he reveals this, it's also showcased that Edison was able to successfully move the clouds in order to allow these Straw Hats to escape. I really love that feature, because now they're not just going to just fall straight on the island, but they can push off on the clouds, ride it a little bit, and properly drop into the sea. The massive reveal that happened at the end of the chapter was Vegapunk saying that a star was born 900 years ago in an ancient kingdom, and much like the legend of the sun god Nika from the tales of Elbaf, they say he fought too, and he fought with an elastic body, and he was called Joyboy, the first ever pirate. So that confirms that Joyboy was the first pirate, and he originated from the ancient kingdom, and that's probably why, with the scatter of the poneglyphs that caused the Great Pirate Era. I'm definitely gonna have to talk to my friends about this, but I have seen some people talk about how Joyboy, he originates from Elbaf, and that's why he's a giant with the giant straw hat that was under Mary Jawa. I didn't read it as that. I just think that they say that the origin of Joyboy originated from Elbaf, or at least the different people that would talk about him and talk about the legend. But I personally think, based off of this, that he was indeed born from the ancient kingdom. But he definitely had some impact on Elbaf, or he did something on that island that we'll find out eventually when the Straws get to that island, because it's been confirmed. And Oda, he has delayed arcs in the past, but the official Shonen Jump has showcased that the Straw Hats are going to be at Elbaf. So that is officially going to be the next island, and it's predicted that it will happen sometime during the fall. I don't know about you guys, but I was really shocked. I know that they say that Joyboy's the warrior of liberation, but for him to be a pirate, that's like, I don't know, that's really interesting. I was not expecting that one, and maybe I'm just dumb for not knowing that, or the proof was always in the pudding, but it does kind of make sense when you actually look at from, like, I guess if you backtrack, looking at it now from everything that we've experienced throughout the story. But thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know how you guys feel about this chapter in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you guys never miss out on a new video. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. It is on the screen and in the description below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and don't forget to unleash your potential.